I use Penultimate notebook, and here I get all my books. I have about 25 books in here. Today is my husband's birthday, so it's a special day. My days are divided in 5 categories, and any projects, any trips, at least I can see it on one page. And it's also divided by months. I was actually journaling and grabbing a cup of coffee, which I enjoy doing sometimes in the morning. Oftentimes people ask me how I live a positive life. So how I live a positive life? It is a fair question. I think it is definitely a muscle to work out every day. I start my day meditating, and I usually do not take any calls from people until I meditate. And then I definitely think that it's important to think about the end goal, and everything else will just essentially fall into place, because there are going to be some ideas that come to mind in order to allow your mind to meet the end goal. And then another one is I create a list. I am the most productive when I have my list the day before about whatever I'm going to do the following day, and that way I can just tackle everything without having to think or without having to hesitate. I organize my day but in five categories, or even 6 if I count the personal. I have my list. I have a calendar where I have set up everything, and I even, you know what helps? Having a calendar where I can see the rest of the year, and sometimes I color code my year by activity, whether there's a trip coming up or whether there's a certain project that I have to finish, and I want to create a deadline for myself. So maybe it's 15 days or 30 days. I just have it there. That way I have a timeline and a time limit, and that way I keep myself organized, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about that too much. Another thing I would say is staying active. Staying active is probably one of the most important things that one can do to just keep the endorphins running and to feel good and to even have more energy. I used to be the type of person who used to rely on coffee a lot, and I realize now how detrimental that is now that I have changed my ways. And by the way, it didn't just happen naturally. When I got pregnant in my 2nd or 3rd month, the smell of coffee was the most disgusting smell in the whole world. So it is hilarious how your body automatically changes. I definitely need to have my place organized at all times. I always believe that clutter place, clutter mind. So it's important to have a clean, organized place to live, hang out, and just all your other activities. A lot of times when I feel stuck, I journal. So I write down all my ideas. I write down, my thoughts, my feelings about it, and it just helps me to figure out a plan and figure out what I really want to accomplish. And figuring out a lot of times the end goal is more important than figuring out all the little steps. So your mind is going to figure out how to get there. Another thing is definitely letting go. developing a muscle to let go of things that don't serve any purpose in your mind, and at the same time going back to a good state of mind. So not letting a moment ruin the rest of the day because it just serves no purpose. Just keep going. That's what I tell myself, to just keep going, to just go back to a beautiful state of mind. And I call that the emotional home, which is something that I've learned many years. And it's the concept that everyone has an emotional home. I do have an emotional home. I do go back to it. I don't want to get stuck on something, but that's something that I have been, developing like a muscle throughout the years.